Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another lesson with me today, AJ Roberts, former squatty knobhead turned spiritual knobhead. And I'm here today with my trusted whiteboard once again because I want to take you through a deep dive into what it really means to returning home. Now, we've all heard the saying, haven't we? Home is where the heart is. We've seen it all our lives. Every shop, furniture store sells the signs that mum or grandma places around the house strategically. So we've been given this message since we were kids, okay? And people say it relentlessly all the time, but we never actually really tune in to what that actually means. Like, home is where the heart is. What does it mean to you? You know, right now, ask yourself, what does it really mean to you when we hear the term home is where the heart is? Like, do you feel it in your own body? Or is it just a fleeting thought? Now, this great awakening, this uprising in human consciousness, the mass exodus of like people and dispelled truths and crimes against humanity and everything that's all happening all at once is so chaotic right now that it's enough to fry the mind. Okay, it's enough to make the body feel a bit discombobulated. Okay, and it can do like crazy things at a soul level if we don't actually sit with our emotions and actually take in everything that resonates right now and what it really means to us and what's actually important. Now, when we talk about home is where the heart is, obviously the heart is our center of our chest, okay? It is our center chakra, our center energy center, whatever you want to call it. But this amazing magnet that we have within our chest does one of the most phenomenal jobs you can imagine. The heart, or the green chakra, our center chakra, is what works with us to project our reality. So what we actually experience in the first place. Now, when we're talking about home, we need to really flip this, okay? We love plays on words, right? Everyone says government control mind, parliament speak lies, all this kind of stuff. But if we bring it a little closer to home with the actual word itself, we could break it down to oh me. Now, we've actually spent most of our lives being told that we cannot strive for ambition, we cannot live the best life, we can't talk about ourselves, our careers, or how we want to help people, or the journey we want to go on, because it's deemed selfish. Okay, and that's a program that's been installed into humanity, especially in Western society, and that's why you never see kids walking down the road or in a shopping center or anything else like that talking to each other, saying, do you know what, when I grow older, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve this, I want to travel here, I want to see the world, I want to get a deeper understanding of our true histories of our nation or our continent or our planet, okay, and get a deeper understanding myself. Talking about that alone is deemed selfish, all right? And that's a program that's been installed into humanity, so you're never voicing, speaking words, spelling itself about what you actually really want to do, achieve, and become. All right, because the more that happens, the less of the I am energies you experience yourselves. Yeah, the I am connection. So when we go deep into the heart, it is actually very much about oh me, because your journey, the hero's journey in this lifetime, is very much about you returning to home, you returning to sovereignty, you returning to God. And that is the God consciousness, the Christ consciousness that's within you, that's within your heart. Okay, but activating all those aspects of yourself from within the heart space. So let's reel it back to the day we're born. Okay, we've all become very accustomed, and if you're watching this video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Non-player characters or Keiths and Karens probably aren't watching this video, okay, because it's too much of a high frequency for them to actually understand. Okay, so if you're watching this video, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we're going to strip this back to the day we're born and then come into our adult life or teens or whatever, however old you are, for those watching this video. Right, we're born into this world mostly in a hospital setting. We go through the whole vitamin K pricks, the heel pricks, the being taken away from your mother too early, cutting the umbilical cord too early. Then our parents sign a birth certificate, which enslaves us in their matrix system. So, before we're even a few days old, we're literally being battered already. Okay, we're having our light chipped away at us straight away. Okay, then we go through the whole childhood vaccination program. Then we're going like now more than ever. The foods and the formulas and everything that are produced for young ones contain so many more chemicals than when I was a baby. Okay, even when my children were a baby, my older children. Okay, and then we go into our adult life. Okay, men especially in the Western world, and we're literally introduced to all these things, but actually puts a lot of strain, stress, confusion, fear, low level of vibration into us at a cellular level. So we're constantly experiencing this. And obviously, as we always say, what we experience on the inside from the heart space is reflected in our reality on the outside. So if our life is then made up of stress, we're full of toxins, okay, everything from alcohol to seed oils to electromagnetic frequency being pumped out everywhere, constantly being surrounded by a Wi-Fi signal. Obviously, the stuff that you're willingly putting into your body, on your body, etc., is tenfold than what it was like 20 years ago. So the modern day teenager, the modern day young adult, is literally from the minute they wake up in the morning to the minute they go to bed, absolutely hammered with toxins from all different angles. And it's because it's so much, it actually gets overlooked because it's been normalized and conditioned. So we're literally full of toxins. Before we then go to work, there's many people out there, especially in the male population, who don't like their job. They literally feel like they're on the tools, pulling a wage to feed their kids in a world that is being destroyed in front of their very eyes. All right. That brings on more stress. Stress is a toxin. Okay. And so this goes on a daily basis, feeding the body at a cellular level full of complete toxicity. This is then basically partnered by media. Okay, so media in the form of social media, media in the form of the news, media in the form of celebrity worship, like all this kind of stuff. All of those things feed the very things you do on a daily basis. Okay, so you have people and commercials literally advertising like all the actual toxic crap that's in everything, whether it's energy drinks, whether it's vapes, whether it's alcohol, whether it's fast food, like anything, you name it, right? You know what's bad for you, what's vice. Okay, the media fuels it through influencers, through celebrities, through commercials, in between sports games, like all this kind of stuff. So you're being fed even more by the media. Then we have sport. Okay, sport is actually great when you're participating. Sport is great to actually watch and appreciate like raw athleticism. Okay, but when it's completely hijacked by greed, money, sponsorship, TV rights, and everything else like that, it very much changes the game. Okay, now you have the biggest world sport in the world, football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. Okay, you got the World Cup this year, and up until this point, all of the advertisements and main sponsors have either been McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Monster, like all these things that are horrendous for your body that are not real food, are not real like drinks, completely refined sugars, like all this kind of stuff, and destroys the gut, all of it. Okay, who sponsor the biggest sport in the world, which you're then marketed through literally relentlessly. Okay, so that's how sport has kind of been weaponized. Right? You then have money, which basically dictates everything. So you've got to go out to work to earn money, to come back to pay your ridiculous bills, tax on everything, and hopefully have a little bit left for yourself so you can take your children away at the same time of year as everybody else because your kids will get fined for not being in school if you take them before or after the school holidays, from an education system that literally lies to them repeatedly on a daily basis. All right. So that adds to the stress. Now, all of these things here come under very much the material world, very much the 3D world, the 3D matrix that all of the systems working together want us to be plugged into. Okay. So we're only going to experience, okay, conditional love, right? So we're only going to experience conditional love, not unconditional love. Now, the difference between conditional love and unconditional love is it comes with conditions. Okay, so you get up in the morning, you switch Sky Sports News on as you stick in a sausage roll or some toasty in before you rush out the door to work, to a job you don't like, where the only conversation is about the game that night or what happened when I'm a celebrity or whatever that is. So you can work in that job, kind of kept busy, building the overlord's prisons, in essence, that we then live in. And that's repeated on a daily basis to feed the systems that you're living through. So a mortgage, credit cards, lots of debt, millions of people are on the debt cycle now because of the way the systems have been working together and have completely squeezed all the populations. So you get up in the morning and that's a daily occurrence, okay? So you're doing all this to pay your mortgage, to keep your kids happy, to stay in a relationship a lot of the time for the kids. And this just gets worse and worse and repeats and repeats and repeats. So your relationship, your life is actually based on conditional love because you need to meet those conditions to be in that relationship, to live with your children, to do all the things that you actually try and want to do in this life. All right. So it's always conditional. Okay. That is not living from the heart. Now, millions of you may be experiencing part of your awakening journey where you've got like this beating drum in your chest. This is going boom, boom, boom. It's basically giving you a nudge, a wake up call that you're not aligned with what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. You're not on your soul mission. You might be completely so far away from it. It looks so distant that drum is beating so hard. Okay. This is when it's time to start listening to your heart. And you stop listening to the very things that cause you stress. You stop listening to the things and using the things that create nothing but toxic waste in the body. All right. Your work isn't your life. Okay. You do not die, all right, with a resume. You do not die with tabloids and corruption and greed. Okay. You actually die with a sense of the level that you get to in this lifetime of your own awakening journey, which brings you back to who you truly are. Okay. You are the hero in your journey. You are Truman. You are Neo. Right? Every single person watching this video is a tool to help you understand that you've materialized into your life to spark things in you. Okay. So we need to cut out this, bring it back to the me, and actually start making necessary changes amongst all of this here that helps you reconnect to who you truly are within the heart. Okay. This then will set you on that journey to unconditional love. Okay. The big difference is where you experience love on a daily basis. Just because someone says they love you doesn't mean you're experiencing unconditional love. Okay. You daily sit in peace. You've come home to your sovereignty, right? That doesn't mean that you suddenly stop paying all your bills and stuff like that. That is part of it. Okay. But reclaiming your sovereignty is reclaiming your heart energy, reclaiming your field, reclaiming everything around you that has chipped away at that light since you were born. All right. And it's no longer part of your life. That is reclaiming your sovereignty. Connection with yourself connection with others, connection with your higher self, connection with who you are, connection with a deeper sense of love that you have for yourself. Okay. Community, huge one. This doesn't need to be a one-person job, even though you are the hero in your own journey. Okay. Having a community around you is an absolute game changer. It's exactly why me and Corinne built our growing community, to bring souls together who are on this journey and return to home within the heart, but collectively together. Okay, because everybody's had a very different journey up until this point, but the actual consistent is the fact that everyone's on this return journey to home. Okay, so community is absolutely vital. There's a reason why they want everybody working from home in their new build buildings in a little box, taking a break every now and then to go for a little walk on their fake paths and little woodland areas that the developers build for you outside. Okay. And you know, the reason why you're not allowed on most of these stately homes, crown owned land and everything else like that, and disconnected and full of division in every single neighborhood. There's a tactical reason why Birmingham, Manchester, which happens to be on the spine of the Albion in the British Isles, has been so heavily infiltrated with illegal immigration, with division through religion, football, everything else like that, to keep people just wanting nothing more than to stay in their home and just be a real living version of Gogglebox. Okay, funny enough, got a box on the end of that as well. Okay, it's to keep everybody's mind in a box. Refer back to my last video I did, and keep communities completely split up. Okay, so within the community, you experience unconditional love because everybody, like we have in our community, is on the same trajectory, coming back here to home. And inevitably, it comes back to the biggest truth of them all. And it always has been the biggest truth of them all. Okay, beyond the Epstein files, beyond World War II lies, beyond celebrity pedos, beyond the royals, beyond sport, beyond all of this stuff, okay, which is just there in the material world as part of your awakening, the biggest truth of them all and what everything's designed here to keep you away from, right? All of this is designed to keep you in a state of maximum conditional love, because it comes with conditions, and to keep you away from here, all right, home in the heart. And then when you return home to where the heart is, okay, you experience all of this on a daily basis. And that's why I wanted to do this video and give this little oversight, give this lesson to actually show you it's not hard. Like I live my life daily in this space, okay, every single day. I had to make necessary adjustments in my life to make that happen. Okay, it meant ending a 20-year marriage. It meant leaving my children. Okay, I actively share that, but that's not because they did anything wrong. It's because my role on this earth, my mission, wasn't aligned with where I actually was and would continue to stay in. Okay, which very much came with conditions. Came with conditions. Nothing against anybody else. They haven't done anything wrong, but that is the reality of it, right? It came with conditions. And that's not what I'm here for in this life, okay? I know what my mission is, and I'm living it fully because I'm living from the heart. I've returned home to where the heart, you know, home is where the heart is. I've returned home to the oh me. I experience this stuff on a daily basis because I've put in the necessary steps to experience unconditional love, to experience so much peace. I live in the countryside. We have a beautiful retreat home where we're helping so many people on a daily and weekly basis who we're transforming lives from here. That's part of our role. Sovereignty, absolutely. I absolutely stand in it. Connection, got a massive connection to myself now. You know, the whole trials and tribulations of the last couple of years, you know, has been tough, but it was needed to really find that deeper connection with self, but also connection with my soul brothers and sisters who have all come into our lives, you know, in the last couple of years, which is beautiful because it takes us into that community that we've created and that people are joining every single day because they want to experience the same thing. All right. And the beautiful thing about it all is that as you go through this and you return to the heart, each time you're like ticking off all of these things that are returning to you, you're just getting closer to who you are, who you are at a deeper soul level, the aspects of you, yeah, why you're here, your mission. Okay, like I said before, you're not tabloids, you're not your favorite sports team, you're not who's your favorite royal, and you're not who your favorite celebrity crush is. Okay, behind all the layers and behind all the programs and everything else that's been installed into you, and this web that's been placed over so many people, all right, beyond all of that is this, who you are. So I hope that you take as much from this video as possible that resonates, and you start maybe installing little things daily into your life, your daily practices, so it takes you away from ever being in stress. It takes you away from your body and your mind being full of toxins. Okay, it takes you away from, work is literally dumbing you down, stressing you out. It takes you away from being glued to media. There's nothing wrong with media because we can use it to our advantage in this game on a daily basis, like me recording this video now for you guys to see it. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. It's when it's been completely bastardized to keep people plugged in to create their reality for them, and that's how their mind then works. They don't turn to self and actually get all the answers that are always within you. You have all the DNA codes, all the answers to absolutely everything you need for your game, for your movie, for your life. Okay, you have it all in here, but all this does is keeps you distracted and keeps you away from it. Yeah, and then makes your body full of inflammation. I go to the gym daily. I eat really well. I cook really healthy food for the children because I don't want them to have any of this crap in them. Yes, like, pizzas and this, that, and the other is all out there. It's in abundance, right? I'm not saying that that's the be all and end all, but on a daily basis, my daily mindset is how can I keep my family, the children, and my friends, people come to my house in the healthiest state possible. All right, they're not full of information, they're not full of stress, they're not full of anger. Okay, all of this can actually accumulate to that, and that's why you see so many people on a looping system doing the same thing day to day. Why people quote unquote call them NPCs, because non-player characters, because they're running on programs doing the same things meticulously on a daily basis, and nothing changes. So so nothing will change because their universe is on repeat, and then they don't make the things necessary to change it. That's why we've got such an obesity epidemic now. Why we've got such an obesity epidemic in children. Okay, because people have allowed themselves to become conditioned, they then become comfort eaters. They've allowed themselves to say, "Yeah, do you know what? My husband don't half look sexy with that dad bod," because media has conditioned people to think that's normal. Okay, the amount of females that are overweight now in this country is astronomical, as well as males, and the amount of children who are obese in this country is astronomical. Okay, you've only got to go to any school run and see the difference, right? This isn't me judging them people. I am literally speaking truth and speaking the obvious that you cannot miss. Okay, it's everywhere for you to see. Okay, you go to any supermarket or any town centre that's completely run down now, literally like a controlled demolition has happened on the places and the people. Right, it's all by design. Right, so the people that don't see it are still very much plugged into the systems because this is life. All right, and it's because they haven't returned to where the heart is, home. Everything else is just a distraction, an annoyance to keep maximum people away from this. And this is why it's only in recent years that the male population has really started to stand up and stick up for our children, call out, the trafficking situations, call out things for what they are, call out religion, call out all these controlling mechanisms that poison us and our children on a daily basis, because the men are returning to their heart. And once that heart's activated, the head's activated. So you get the heart to head coherence, okay? And then funny enough, the collective consciousness create that powerful reality through that union of unconditional love so that them, their families and their communities can experience all of this. And that's what you're seeing happen now. Because that rate of people is rising on a big basis, this is why we're seeing so many more people return to this. Could be, at their pace, but collectively that number's getting bigger, and that's what's destroying all these systems. So what looks like dark is becoming light. Right? It's because people are returning home. And that's what all the talk about Greenland was about. Okay, Greenland is homeland. All right, it's all about returning to where our future tech is. Okay, so on a material level, there's lots of quantum and galactic technology there, but actually, metaphorically, it's about returning home to where your tech is that you've got inside you, where all your gifts are, and where all your future life is, basically. It's all in here in the same place. Okay, and we can achieve that through meditation. We achieve that through breath work. All the stuff that I teach, all the stuff that we do on a weekly basis with our community. Okay, away from all this chaos and drama. Right, it's bringing it all back to here, home. Now, if you'd like to discover more about returning home with people like myself and all the other people in our community, learn more about returning to unconditional love, to be in peace, return to sovereignty, find deeper connections, explore the phenomenal community we have of like-minded souls from different parts of the world, okay, and discovering on a daily basis more and more and more of who you truly are, then please take advantage of our lifetime membership. We've got a few left. Okay, we put it out there when we first built the platform that the first 200 lifetime memberships would be at a reduced rate. We've got about 20 left, I think. So if you want to take advantage of that, please do. I'm doing lots of mini courses similar to this, but on breath work. I'm doing lots on ancient histories, the true histories of Britain, about walking. We've got people in the community as well that are running challenges on a monthly basis. There's so much going on, okay? And this is why we've created our own platform, away from ads, away from censorship, away from judgment, away from negative comments, all that kind of good stuff, all in one very, very user-friendly place, which is growing by the day. So please just visit missionconsciousness.com, join our community, and experience all of this and then some. Okay, I don't hold anything back. All right, we've created this fantastic platform for this reason. Okay, because what media and everything else has done up until this point, has shown us until this point, is the exact reason why we've created a home for anyone around the world who wants to connect with like-minded people and feel a little bit more like themselves on a daily basis. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked all this content, please check out my previous content as well, where I talked about how systems are designed to keep people's head in a box. There's other videos like this as well in this little mini series. But from myself, the spiritual knobhead, on a spiritual journey, just like you guys, start focusing that attention on returning home, because it genuinely is where the heart is. It's there. You've got it. You absolutely have it all. Okay? A little bit of oh me time to return here. Much love, ladies and gents, and I'll see you again soon.